Yo, what is going on YouTube? This your boy Kamen Zero Spike back again once again. And today, people, today we're here for Kikai Sentai Zenkaiger episode 48. And this episode, basically like the second to last episode, is basically the second to last episode, and we kind of handle. They kind of handle Bokuwas pretty quickly in this episode as well, and we see that other things are happening in the background. We see that Stacy and Zox are handling Barashitara, and they ended up defeating Barashitara, but barely. And I feel like this was more of Zox's fight than than Stacy's, but I felt like Stacy should have got some more shine in this fight, because it's like that's his dad. Like his whole point of him even being part of the Toji Tendo and stuff like that was because, hey, I'm Barashitara's son, and I want to surpass him and stuff like that. And I'm just saying, like, it should have been more of a Stacy fight. We see that Zox is the one that's getting like the most hits and like the second win thing and everything. So it felt weird. I understand, like, yeah, Barashitara, like, Zox hates Barashitara, but it should have been more of a Stacy fight. It should have been. Stacy should have been. They both took him out, and they both took him out in a cool way. They both took him out in like a big blast. And I forgot that Stacy had a chest cannon, and I've also forgot that Zox had a chest cannon. Or has he ever used that? I really don't remember him using that chest cannon when he turned into his super form. But I kind of forgot that he had a chest cannon. Like, it was weird to me. But yeah, they ended up taking out Barashitara, and with that, they basically had like a big beam struggle with him, because we also barely saw Barashitara use his chest cannon. So I'm just like, okay, well, in that caliber, the way he used it there. But other than that, like, they ended up defeating him in a big kind of blast kind of way, and it was a good fight and everything. It was a good scenes and stuff like that, but at the same time, it still felt weird. That Stacy really didn't get that much shine in that fight against his own father. But we also saw that God is basically still possessing, well, has possessed, Flint, and he ends up using this big Toji Tendo gear, and ends up sending all the Kikonois back to Kikaitopia, basically sending everybody home, like sending a lot of people back to their prospective like planet or worlds. And we get back to our main team, the main Zenkaiger. They're here, they're fighting Bokuwas, and Bokuwas's ultimate form looks pretty cool. I mean, he also absorbed the Sentai gear, so he had like powers of all like different Sentais, and we see that he's using different weapons, like different ultimate weapons from different Sentai. I'm about to say Zenkai, from different Sentai, and yeah, he was beating them. He was doing a lot. I mean, like that last one where he used the first Rangers, the old Ranger. When he first used that, he used like the football, and he kicked it and hit him. It was silly. It was very silly, but I mean, I didn't mind it, but it was weird. But also we see that they're fighting him. They can't beat him, rightfully so, because he is the final guy. He is the big bad, of this series, or so we think. He is the big bad guy so we think. So they're fighting him, and they end up getting blasted out of their Ranger forms, and their gears break. And then when their gears break, they do their roll call, but no suits or anything, no powers or anything. And we see that when they're getting ready to fight him in their like not in their Ranger forms, getting ready to fight him like that, for some reason the Sentai gear breaks out of him. It was out of nowhere, and it was just they break out of him, and he ends up oh god, come on, he ends up all the Sentai gear end up saving them, and they see all the symbols and everything of every single Sentai. And what happens is their gears get fixed, but they're like a different version of them. Now they have like the red ring around the gear. They have the red ring with the gold in the middle. They have that now, and yeah, they basically get their powers back and they transform and fight them. But I'm like, why did that happen? Like, I kind of felt like, okay, they should have gotten beaten and got out of their Ranger forms, and then, you know, had their talk and whatever, and then it broke out, and then they get saved and stuff like that. But it felt weird because it just happened out of nowhere, and I guess they were trying to speed up this fight as fast as possible because the real battle hasn't really begun yet. But yeah, they ended up using that, and ended up using their powers again, and ended up defeating Bokuwas. And I kind of felt like, man, Bokuwas is just out just like that. I felt like he was gonna have like maybe a second form or a mech form or something like that, but he was just that form right then and there. He had the Sentai gear right in his chest basically, and he could use any weapon or anything like that from them. I think it was just weapons. I don't think he could summon Rangers, but he basically just did nothing but just basically use like ultimate weapons, like their weapons when they fuse all their base weapons together into one big cannon. That's basically what he was using. He was using those. But yeah, Bokuwas is defeated. They ended up defeating Bokuwas and things like that. And then we see God has after he, you know, activates the Zenkai gear, it basically sends everybody back to their respective worlds and ends up trapping everybody inside of a gear. Basically trapping everybody inside of a gear, and that's basically where the episode kind of ends off right there. But we see that next episode we're going to see Kaito. We're going to see Kaito actually fight him. We're going to see Kaito actually fight God, and we see that Kaito has like possessed him. So I guess this is basically what we're getting to Dawn Brothers, where we see that Kaito is acting completely different than what he does in Dawn Brothers. Whole new suit and everything. Well, same suit, just different color scheme. But at the same time, Kaito is very different in Dawn Brothers, and he owns like a cafe or a coffee shop, I think. And yeah, he has a whole different demeanor. So maybe that's the God. Maybe that's him inside of Kaito that whole time. During Dawn Brothers. I hope not. I hope not. Maybe it's him or maybe it's somebody else. But other than that, I hope it's still regular Kaito. But it's not Dawn Brothers yet. But episode basically ends off with everybody getting put inside of these gears, and now they're all like in their own perspective worlds again, but everybody's inside these gears and Kaito is left alone. So next week's episode we're going to see Kaito actually fight him. But I felt like the bad guys throughout this whole like finale kind of went down very quickly, because we didn't get anything about Bokuwas. We didn't get anything about him. He always talked about this whole royal blood thing and things and stuff like that going on, but at the same time, like, we never found out anything about that. Like, we never got anything about this whole royal family thing that, you know, started maybe his, you know, most likely his family. You know, obviously his family is the one that started the Toji Tendo and started maybe this whole taking over worlds and things like that. So we never got anything about that, and I was actually very interested in that. I was hoping that we get like a little Bokuwas kind of backstory thing or whatever. But yeah, I'm just like, that's so weird. And also we see Gigi and Seichan fight each other, because they end up using the when they got back to Bokuwas, he, instead of them like, and you know, like last time where he slammed his hand on the ground and they end up falling down that pit, they end up they figured out how to not get caught by that anymore, and it's kind of silly, but at the same time they end up using the samurai or the Shukenja gear, or the Power Ranger Samurai gear, and end up using that, and ends up making Seichan big, and it made Seichan as big as Gigi. And I'm like, yeah, Gigi's huge. Gigi's pretty freaking big. So it's like they made Seichan as big as Gigi to stop Bokuwas from spinning the platform that it was sitting on. And we actually see Seichan and Gigi fight each other. It was like a bird battle, peck battle, and I'm like, okay, please explain something, because there has to be a connection between these two freaking birds. Like, there has to be some kind of connection between them. I don't know if like Ichiru made Gigi by using, you know, the technology from Kaito's parents or stuff like that. Maybe that's how, you know, that's why he's here or whatever. But at the same, but also that, like, that's very possible. But at the same time, it seems like Gigi has been around Gigi has been with Bokuwas for a long time. We actually see Gigi get destroyed in this episode, because we see that God ended up possessing Gigi again, and he says some stuff to Gigi, and then like Bokuwas gets pissed off, and he one-shots him. He slams him into a wall and destroys him. So Gigi's gone. Yeah, Gigi's gone. So that's also a thing. Like, so Bokuwas is gone, Bar Shitara is gone, Ichiru's gone, and Gigi's gone. So there are no top generals for Tochi Tendo anymore. Basically, the Tochi Tendo are basically gone, and the only person that probably could take on the Tochi Tendo is Stacy, but I don't think Stacy is going to do that. Maybe Stacy will, you know, take up the mantle and be the new leader of the Tochi Tendo, and maybe they'll be good or something like that. I don't know, but at the same time, the Tochi Tendo is gone, all our bad guys are gone. But I felt like it was so fast. You know, Ichiru went down fast. You know, I felt like Ichiru wasn't going to die that easily, but like Ichiru went down fast. Bar Shitara went down in a blaze of glory. But at the same time, it's like, what happened? Wow. And the fight really, like I said earlier, the fight really didn't feel like a Stacy fight. It should have been more of a Stacy fight with Zox backing him up. That's what it should have been. But it really was just Zox with Stacy backing him up. And yeah, so after defeating Bokuwas and stuff like that, that's when everybody gets kidnapped, and then that's when everybody basically gets sealed, and that's when Kaito's left alone. So yeah, guys, you guys let me know, like, what do you guys think about this episode? Because it was a good finale, but it was very lackluster for me. I felt like we didn't know anything about Bokuwas at all. Like, we just knew he was the big bad and he was part of this royal family, but that's all that we really got from Bokuwas. And also with Gigi and Seichan, like, what is the connection between these two freaking birds? Like, there has to be some kind of connection between them. I'm not saying like they're brothers or whatever, I'm not saying nothing like that, but at the same time, it's like, what's the connection between them? We're probably most likely gonna never know. Bar Shitara, we kind of know a lot about Bar Shitara, and also during the fight with him, Stacy and Zox, he basically said that this isn't the first time one of my kids has tried to beat me about their mother. And we also, because we know that Bar Shitara has like a crap ton of wives and also a crap ton of children. So Stacy's probably got like a crap ton of siblings and stuff out there. He did say like Stacy's mom was like his 480 something wife. So I don't know how a robot could do that, but I don't know, that it's something like Kikinoids really don't feel like they're robots. Kikinoids really feel like they're cyborgs or something like that, because we see like Kikinoids and humans like have relationships, and we see Kikinoids, and especially with Bar Shitara, who basically has had a crap ton of freaking kids and a crap ton of wives. So most likely those wives weren't Kikinoids. Probably, we don't know, but most likely they weren't Kikinoids. So, and we also see that maybe Bar Shitara has probably killed some of his own children, because they probably tried to fight him about their mom. He probably treated their mom horribly. Most likely he did. But at the same time, maybe a lot of Stacy's siblings are dead. We don't know. But other than that, you guys let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think about this episode. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Are you guys ready for the final battle against God? I'm ready. But yeah, I'll see you guys then. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out, and remember, stay henshined.